Yeah.
So, yeah.
Don't mess with Mr. T's mother. Don't mess with his mother.
Boy, you're right. I forgot all about that. Oh, man. If you've never watched the Hall of Fame ceremony before and the induction speeches and acceptance speeches and all that stuff, it's great. And you can watch it in its entirety on WWE Network.
And all the other classic ones, too.
And right now they do have all the previous Hall of Fame ceremonies on there to view as well. And if you view last year's, it's quite hilarious if you can bear through the boring pain and agony of it. Mr. T was the celebrity inductee last year, and his induction speech went on forever.
And it
was mostly just thanking his mother the whole entire time.
They had to stop him.
Yeah, they cut him off like they do at the Oscars when their acceptance speech goes too long and had to drag him off. It's hilarious. Like I said, if you can stomach it, because it's painful. It's a painful watch. If you can stomach it, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Another good inductee from last year, which I just made a reference to, was Paul Bearer, who was a manager. Surprisingly, there wasn't a manager this year.
That's right. Yep. Nope. Last year's class was excellent. This year's class was really good too. But anyway, enough of the Hall of Fame class.
Yeah,
we
let's
get
that
to
out
some
of the way.
actual matches. Well, quick show note. Thanks for listening to Balls Deep Sports Talk here on WNLMradio.com or the TuneIn app or SoundCloud or whatever else you happen to be listening on. This is Scotty Ball here with me on our WrestleMania preview extravaganza with aspiring WWE superstar Doug Sanders.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get back into it here. Balls Deep WrestleMania extravaganza. All right, but we're going to try and preview the match card here in order as best we can predict the order of the matches. We'll kind of do them in relevance or build or excitement, basically. But so we'll start with the pre-show, which I personally consider part of the actual show itself, although the WWE and the WWE history books do not and will not do that, which is disappointing. But anyway, in the pre-show, the pre-show itself, to give you a summary of that, is an hour-long build-up to the WrestleMania event on the WWE Network.
Where they talk about build-ups,
Right, mostly promos and interviews and things of that nature. However, with 30 minutes to go or so, we will get a match, and that match should last about 15 minutes or so, somewhere in there. It will be a fatal four-way for the tag team titles. The current tag team champions are Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
They should get a name, I think the Rulers of the World is a good name for their tag team.
Great input. They don't have a tag team name. They're just Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. And they're the champs, which is weird. So, I agree. They need a tag team.
But then R-Truth and Kofi Kingston had the tag team titles. They never had a name either. So.
That's true. No, it does happen.
I guess so.
It does happen. But anyway, I'd like them more if they had a tag team.
That's why I gave that name suggestion.
Yep. And they'll be okay, we'll get into that later. All right. So anyway, they're the tag team champions going into the Fatal 4-Way at the pre-show. Some of their challengers will be Los Matadores, Diego and Fernando. Well, yeah, whoop-de-doo. They will send out the colognes. Did I just say that? Yeah, spoiler alert. But anyway, another one of their challengers would be former tag team champions, the Usos. Or the So-Sos, as I like to call them sometimes.
Yeah, the So-Sos.
But now, they would definitely be an interesting threat to regain the tag team titles.
And I heard that
if one of the guys wasn't injured or coming off of his injury.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say, actually.
Yeah. And I feel that injury was written in as a way to protect the Usos in this WrestleMania pre-show match so that they can lose the match but not seem weak in any way. So that's my take on that. But the Usos are in it, and they give a little credibility. The So-Sos, are in it, and they give a little credibility to the match, being former tag team champs. Then the final tag team, is the New Day.
They suck!
That was really loud. Sorry about that, radio listeners. Let's try that again. Not quite into the microphone, not quite so loud.
I'm sorry.
New Day.
They suck. Just be a little bit more quiet.
Oh,
so I don't rip their ears.
Too funny. No, but anyway, a New Day is a faction, actually, a 3-man faction comprised of Xavier Woods.
He sucks.
Failed NXT call-up, at least so far.
He sucks.
Yes. Thank you, Doug Sanders. And then former Intercontinental champions
Who rocks?
Big E.
Oh, wait. I thought you were going to say Kofi.
No, and
Well,
Kofi,
he's average.
Big E and Kofi, both
Yeah.
are former tag team champs. Kofi many more times than Big E, but still, or former IC champs, former Intercontinental champions. But they will be the two wrestling in the match. Xavier Woods will kind of act as a manager, whatever type of thing.
And
All the teams have one of those extra people. Los Matadores have El Torito, which is a midget in a bull costume. And then the Usos have one of their members' real-life wife, Naomi. Naomi. Jeez Louise.
Jeez, you're getting mixed up.
I'm getting ahead of myself, excuse me. And as well as Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, whose real-life wife is Natalya, she's with them as well. So every group has an add-on, a manager, something tagged along with them.
Everyone's got a 3-man.
Yep, exactly. But this is basically just a filler match, get the crowd pumped up a little bit. I definitely think that the titles will stay.
Yeah, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd will retain the titles.
Yep, you can count on that.
No chance.
Unless, you never know, Vince could pull an ultimate shocker and start us out with like a New Day or Los Matadores.
Which would suck.
Yes, it would. And don't expect it, but with Vince, he's so out of touch lately, you just never know. It is possible.
They're repeating the pre-show from last WrestleMania, which was also a Fatal 4-Way Tag title match.
Yep, that's what... Wait a minute. Are you telling me, Doug Sanders, that the WWE is reworking an old storyline? That they're recycling old storylines and using them again? Stuff we've already seen and they've already used before?
As Daniel Bryan would say, yes! Yes! Yes!
Of course they are. That's what they do. But anyway, so let's see. As far as predictions on the pre-show, it looks like we're both in agreement.
Cesaro and tag team.
Cesaro and Kidd retain.
Yep. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, the rulers of the world.
All right. Now, do you think... Okay, well, one thing, and then we'll go on to our next match. Do you think they will retain cleanly, or do you think there will be some kind of interference, distraction, shenanigans, cheating, tights
I'm
pulling,
going to take
anything?
that one step beyond. I think all of them are going to cheat. Not just Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. I think every tag team is going to have some involvement.
Well, I suppose it's a fatal 4-way, so there's no disqualification, so technically there is no cheating.
So El Torito could interfere, Natalya, Naomi, Xavier Woods. All of them could interfere in this match.
Yeah, I think they'll give us some kind of ending where it's questionable, where Kidd and Cesaro keep the belts, but
one of the teams
protects at
in
least
the
some
match.
of the other. Yeah, at least.
I have a question for you, actually.
All right, shoot.
Who do you think, Cesaro or Tyson Kidd, is going to pin to win the match?
Ooh, that's a great question. You would think the pinfall would go to who's ever going to be the next team involved in the title storyline, would be my guess. Now, to me, the obvious choice for that would be the Usos. However, New Day might be used as a filler rival, a filler feud with their Intercontinental history.
Cesaro and Tyson Kidd actually did face the New Day in a 6-man tag team match, I believe, at the Royal Rumble involving 2 other competitors. More competitor, Adam Rose. Well, we should move on from the pre-show.
Okay, here's my final prediction for that then. The pinfall will come either on the injured Uso or a member of New Day. Los Matadores will not be involved in the finish.
Now let's move on to the next match.
Next match. Let's see. Let's go to what our projected, at least I believe it's our agreed upon projected opening match, and that would be Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank, versus the Viper, Randy Orton. All right. Well, Doug Sanders, do you want to give me your thoughts on the Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton match first?
I think it will be a really good match to watch.
I agree.
And I know that there will be interference from J&J Security, which will lead to Seth Rollins winning the match. That is my prediction, and Seth Rollins winning.
Boy, I'm pretty much right with you on all of that. I believe we're going to see great wrestling, great technical in-ring wrestling and moves, a nice, tight, hard-fought match between both of these guys. They're going to try to steal the show because neither of them want to be in this match. They'd rather be in a bigger match on this big card.
Kind of hard when you got an Intercontinental title match, which we will be going on soon. We will talk about soon.
Right. The only way I think Randy wins is as an opener, if it is the first match on the bill and Randy being the babyface. A lot of times at a pay-per-view like this, you like to start out with the babyface winning to help get the crowd happy, cheering and involved and excited about what's going on. So that, to me, is the only real element here that gives Randy any chance of winning this match. Otherwise, Seth Rollins is clearly the one getting pushed by the WWE at this time. Randy is he's the big show in this storyline or this feud to, a la the way Big Show was used to build Roman, or at least try to build Roman, but we'll get to that later. Big Show is the veteran who's lending his name and accomplishments to building the younger guy in this one, and so I agree with you. Definitely it makes sense for Seth Rollins to win. He is the one getting pushed. If he doesn't win this match, actually, that's what I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick that Randy Orton wins the match. Since he's the face, since he's the baby face. But post-match, J&J and Seth are going to attack him and curb stomp him through a table or something, and they're going to come out looking strong and walking away and protecting Seth while still giving the good guy the win. That's what I'm going to pick on that one, and I didn't know that until just now.
Well, I'm going to keep my pick on Seth Rollins.
I think you got a good pick there, too. Seth is definitely the safe, smart money on that one. All right, well, let's see. What match should we move on to next here? All right, how about the Divas match, the lone Divas match on the card? Yeah, so if you haven't been following, WWE has been trying to promote this hashtag Give Divas a Chance campaign.
Which failed on Raw, actually, with El Torito pinning Natalya.
Yeah, it's supposed to be giving more time and more respect to the Divas division and the Divas competitors. And one idea they have about doing this is, this Monday on Raw, they had Natalya get pinned by the midget in the bull costume for Los Matadores. So much for Give Divas a Chance.
It's like they took a big poo on it.
Don't buy into any of that. But anyway, the Divas match that we have here at WrestleMania involves the Divas champion, but not the Divas title.
Which was defended on that Raw, too.
Yes, it was. But they have to have at least one title not defended on the match card, so otherwise it would be the Night of Champions pay-per-view.
And they can't do that.
Yeah, they can't do that, exactly. So there has to be at least one. They have taken 2 titles off, putting the tag team titles on the pre-show, and then putting the Divas title in a Divas tag team match, where it is Divas champion Nikki Bella teaming with her sister, Brie Bella, to take on the team of the Frenemies.
I don't like that name.
I hate the name, too. AJ Lee and Paige. What are your thoughts on the Divas match?
Well, I think it's probably just going to be like a WrestleMania 28 match, except there's no celebrity. Remember that match with
Maria Menounos, or however
Kelly
you say her name?
and Beth Phoenix and Eve. It's going to be like that, except there's no celebrity.
Minus
so why do you care then? There's no caring for me or.
Nope, I agree. Their Give Divas a Chance campaign resulted in one irrelevant Divas tag team match at WrestleMania that's basically just a throwaway, a filler.
Like most Divas matches.
At WrestleMania.
Sorry to say.
Yeah, at WrestleMania. Some pay-per-views they'll give Divas a really good match, but WrestleMania,
like
you're right. But WrestleMania they tend to just
keep
be a filler,
lower.
And it's sad, especially when you've extended the show now from a 3-hour pay-per-view to a 4-hour pay-per-view. It's sad that they can't work in more storylines into some of these other mid-card and bottom-card matches, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, let's get to predictions.
All right. But yeah, since it's a filler one, let's see. Other than that, I'll just say it was about a terrible build. The WWE did a terrible build
Horrible.
The terrible storyline. There's no storyline basically for this
Yeah.
match, which is sad because the Divas involved